Hey everyone, it's Sydney and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I talk about my experience going to prison and some tips that helped me get through it. So whether you are in a situation like mine and going to end up in jail or prison, or you're watching this for pure entertainment, hopefully you can take something away from it. I try to really share my positive outlook on things. Today I'm going to talk about falling asleep in prison, and with the holiday season in mind, I'm wearing my new Christmas pajamas. They're so cute! So I hope you like them and I hope you enjoy this video. With the holidays coming up, I just feel like so much gratitude to not be in prison anymore. I'm gonna fall asleep in my own bed on Christmas Eve, and it's just so nice because the sleeping situation in prison was, you get used to it, but it was terrible. Let's be honest, it was terrible. It was actually a little bit better than jail, in my experience and in my opinion, because in jail, the mattress that I had to sleep on, was super loud and crinkly. It was kind of like a plastic mattress that felt like it was stuffed with plastic grocery bags. That's every time you moved, it made that sound. So if you were in a room with somebody, it was so annoying, trying to get comfortable and trying not to make super loud noises. You also didn't get a separate pillow. The mattress was just flat, and then at the pillow, the head part, it was raised, which is just so uncomfortable, especially for the way I sleep, which is usually on my stomach with my arm under my pillow. But you get kind of used to it, and in prison the mattresses were a little bit softer, but they were still no more than 2 inches. I'll give it 3 inches thick. You get a sheet and a blanket and a pillow and a pillowcase, and the pillows are the worst part because they literally feel like they're just air wrapped in duct tape. It's no soft cushion, it's just hard, and some of them are flatter, some of them are more full. It's the luck of the draw. I actually liked the flatter ones. I actually now can't sleep with a fluffy pillow at all. It needs to be so flat or none at all. And getting out of prison, it was impossible to sleep in my bed. Going from this for 8 months, sleeping on a hard, where it essentially just feels like you're sleeping on no mattress at all, to getting on my bed that had a Tempur-Pedic mattress topper on it. I was sinking in, and I was this is wrong. It doesn't feel good at all. The first night I almost just moved to the floor. And so needless to say, you get used to the sleeping situation, but falling asleep especially towards the beginning, was really tough and really scary because, my first night in prison, I only had what I had learned in movies and TV shows to go off of. So I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know who I could trust, and I was not in a room alone. The first night I spent in prison was actually, I just had one other cellmate, and she was an older lady, but she informed me right away that she was there for assault with a deadly weapon. So I was a little bit scared, she seemed nice enough, but you never know what to expect. I was assuming the worst, even though she kept saying oh, I was just the police just didn't understand my situation. They didn't know what was happening. So I don't even really know. I still don't know. I was only roomed with her for a little while, but yeah, I did not sleep very much at all because they would turn off the lights at a certain time, and then at midnight they would turn all of the lights in our rooms back on for count time, so that they would come count us, and they would shine a flashlight in our eyes. So it was really hard to fall asleep, especially during that time. Once I was actually placed in minimum security. We had a lot more freedom because we were in control of our own lights. And yes, it's still very hard to sleep when they're coming around to count us, shining flashlights in the door, and like talking super loud. The correctional officers were never very respectful of our sleep. So that was tough. So yeah, throughout my stay, I was like in different situations, in different rooms, in different prisons. So it was different for everyone. But I'll talk about like where I spent most of my time, which is in minimum security prison. Luckily, I trusted and liked all my roommates. They were super nice, super cool, all pretty young. And how it was there is we could kind of put in room requests. So you could ask to be in a certain room. And right before I had gotten put in there, all three of my roommates had all just gone through a room change to be put together. So they were all friends, they were all cool, and then I just got super lucky by being put in that room when I got moved over there. So I didn't ever have to worry about like someone hurting me in my sleep or anything, which wasn't necessarily the case the first time I got placed. Yeah, I just had a bunch of like crazy roommate situations before actually getting put somewhere good. Either way, it was still not easy to fall asleep. You know, you get 4 people to a room, 2 bunk beds, twin size on each side of the room. I was on the top bunk, which you just have to get over your fear of like being terrified of falling off. There was girls that had fallen off of their bunks while I was there. I don't even think the girl in the room next to me, it happened to, and I don't even think she was asleep or anything. I think she just fell off. And she like hurt herself pretty bad. We could like hear it through the wall because the walls are super thin, so you can hear everything. Like if your roommates are being loud and laughing next door while you're trying to take a nap or go to bed, like you can hear it, and then you get really resentful and start to hate the people next door. And I'm sure we were those people a lot of the time too, because we were always cracking up and having a good time together. Waking up was honestly worse because you would like fall asleep and dream that you're out living your normal life with everybody that you love, and then you wake up and you're like, fuck, I'm in prison. Man, I wish that wasn't just a dream. I also got very used to using earplugs because luckily, and I'm telling you, like, it's the luckiest thing in the world that I happened to be in a room where none of my 3 roommates snored. But that is like sometimes you could hear people snoring in the room next to you. That's how bad people are. So yeah, everyone just gets used to sleeping with earplugs. And the only time that really sucks is when it's count time in the middle of the night and they're coming through and you have to be like showing skin and showing your face. Even though we're sleeping, like we can't help it if we're faced the other way. So if you're not facing, they'll like tap on the door and like call your last name so that you show yourself. And if you can't hear them calling your name because you have earplugs in, it's really annoying. And like literally from 5 rooms down the hallway, you can hear them like yelling somebody's name. And some people, it was like an every night occurrence and it would go on forever. And it's just so frustrating because then you wake up, it's hard to fall back asleep. But I think what made it easier for me to fall asleep every night was the fact that I was like actually genuinely tired, because I would always go to the gym. Like I would go to the gym at least once a day, usually in the evening. So that like wore me out and like made me actually want to go to bed at a decent time. It's lights out at a certain hour. And so if you can't fall asleep, like you can't even really turn on your light to read or do anything, that you're just kind of stuck there with your thoughts. The whole trick that I learned was to just like not get too in your head and thinking, and that's something that I practiced just in general while I was there. Like I got really into meditation and just shutting off your thoughts and not letting them consume you, which is why I used to struggle falling asleep when I was younger, is because I would just be playing scenarios in my head and like thinking of things and starting to get really anxious that I couldn't sleep. and I don't have that issue anymore, and I didn't even have it when I was in prison, besides like at the very beginning. So it definitely got easier over time. For the most part, it wasn't that hard, but I'm just so grateful to literally I should be so thankful every single night when I go to bed and just have like more than one pillow, have more than this much space of a bed, and just can feel like comfortable and alone in my own personal space. Because sharing a room with 3 people, even though they're awesome, sharing one single room that isn't really truly ever yours and can be ripped through and torn apart and searched at any time doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel right. So it just feels good to be home for the holidays and just home in general and in my own space and falling asleep every night to either my TV, or I'll listen to guided meditations when I fall asleep a lot of the time now. I can turn a fan on, and I just feel comfortable and happy and good to be out of prison. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions or things that you want me to talk about, of course leave it down in the comments below. I will link some other videos. If you are interested in hearing more about my prison experience and what it was like for me, please make sure you subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you have an amazing holiday season and a happy new year, and I'll see you guys next time.